Welcome to the program. My name is Dr. Mankota. You are watching the TBN TV and radio network coming to you live from the US. Today we get a very important discussion where I want to make Una be part of the discussion as we always know. The TBN get a culture of interaction instead of broadcast because broadcasting sometimes means a monologue. Somebody waiting at the studio in the talk normal, they don't get no input from the people who they watch them. So that's not necessarily the way TPN they work. We want every time when you watch we live broadcast, we also want to make you be part of the broadcast. And the reason that one day we always they encourage people them where they watch him for make they give comments and if necessary if somebody feel like oh you know what I want for calling for make I give me your opinion on the air at the number this 480 401 409 4001. That's the studio number. We if you call me directly, you will able for come in and give your opinion. All what you need for do is just send your comment and we will broadcast your comments. We will discuss your comments at the comment session. We'll get a special session where for comment and for discuss the comment and way the viewers that they send at the program. So we all were able to be part of the interaction, which is very, very good. Well, um, today we get a topic, well, multiple topics we get for discuss, and this get for do. Let me just remove this conversation. That's get for do with one of the opposition leaders, where now Femi Claudius Cole, where they may arrest on Monday, this past Monday. Um, well, the police allege that um, uh, Mrs. Claudius Cole actually instigates women them for make them um then go demonstrate. So now the discussion this will get for discuss today. And please don't hesitate if you get any question or you disagree with what you would say, don't hesitate. Put it in the comment section. The only thing we will not tolerate is for abuse of the platform. For example, somebody they try from course or they make bad one. I don't expect people them for make them kind of public for kind of bad words, insults and all those type of things. But sometimes necessarily it happen, right? Sometimes people they not get training, so when they come out, then go begin exhibits then training na the public. But I don't expect any of we um, viewers ever do that at all. Yes, we don't disagree with so many viewers, but the discussion is mutual. We dey understand ourselves. So now the same thing. Anytime when we dey live, we dey interact with the viewers. Them that one day we want because one of the things we that the most important thing about the CPN is education. Um, it don't necessarily means it because you get a mic or you get a platform, you are smarter than everybody else. That's not the case. The viewers, most of the viewers probably are more, enlightened or knowledgeable on certain topics than we they try for discuss them topics. And sometimes when they watch him, they make mistakes. So it's important that they come and say, hey, Dr. Mankota or Mr. Y, Mr. Z, Mr. X, I don't think say this information is correct. This is the correct information. That's how we learn from each other. This is the main motto of the TPA, for learn from each other, and for try for find a common ground for the discussion of we on young democracy salon. So as we done the do them for the past 11 years, we still they encourage people them to make them be part of the discussion. In a democratic system, if you refuse to be part of the discussion, I'm not talking about irrelevant discussion. I'm not talking about discussions that will they benefit society. I'm talking about one-on-one or individual discussions that will benefit you, it benefits me, and it benefit the society. These are some of the discussions the way we want for that we could engage in. Now, why Femi Claudius Cole was arrested? Why? Well, if you just put this question at the social media and at the platform, you get a billion answers, billion different answers. And most times, the answers then they is predicated on affiliation. Uh, they arrest them because the SLPP-led government is a dictator government. They arrest them because the woman they try for threatening the security of the country. They arrest them because of X, Y, Z. They get all the answers, you know. And it left with you and me. We actually want to know why they arrest this woman and waiting at the implication of the arrest for with democracy. You know, democracy is not a smooth road. Okay, democracy is messy. The United States of America don't they practice democracy for over 235 years. 235 years. And as we all attest to what in happen in America, yeah, it's still messy. It's still very, very, very difficult. Democracy now a very difficult thing for practice in a society, especially a society we not so mature enough for understand or differentiate between tribalism, sectionalism, nepotism, and all the isms that we dey think of. If America were an advanced society, they still dey struggle for practice and democracy. What about a country where they start democracy 24 years ago? 24 years ago. I think so. 1996 to now is 24 years ago. Well, I'm talking about multi-party democracy. Yes, we know same after the independence, we start that, but it was squashed by Sheikh Stevens. And for the past 24 plus years, we now get a real democracy. We get what we call a one party system, you know. And most of we today, we they practice this multi party democracy. We are born in this one party system. Another one day we know. It's just feel like you cage an animal na na a cage for most of the life. And when you can't release this animal at the bush, at the jungle, you don't know what you get for do. You don't know what they do. Number one, that animal they very vulnerable because as we all know, the jungle is a very, very tough environment, right? It's the survival of the fittest, right? So that animal, if you not be careful, you know they survive in the jungle because you're not used to the jungle. So now the same thing with democracy. We try for manage this. All right. Most of we born during the one party state, but that one day we know the one person and get the power. The one person and they tell you say this na black or this na white. The one person and they tell you say that this person I want or that this person I don't want. And the one person in statement and na the final statement. We born in this era. We born in this kind of environment. We grow up in this kind of environment. And all of a sudden, the cage animal is being released into the jungle. And the reason this way they see all these hiccups we they go through. So, you know, um, we see the moment something happen at the country, it's very easy for me we start from going into political groups then, and we use those groups to discuss what happened. Okay, Femi Claudia Cole, now a politician, and the leader of the Unity Party, right? As we all know, the Unity Party now one of the smallest party in the country. I don't know the last election if they even contest, if they contest probably I don't think they even bring up to 1,000 votes. So it's a negligible party when it comes to the country in politics. And as a leader, as we all know, everybody wants to be at the spotlight for make people they recognize and promote all these type of things. So I know they begrudge um, this wonderful woman for standing up, for trying to organize the women there, for make them protest. And by the way, why is it illegal for protest? One of the fundamental principles of democracy is the freedom of assembly. This particular principle is embedded into multi-party democracy. The freedom for make the people able to assemble and protest against the government where they elect. I don't think say na any bad thing if people they want for protest. I don't think so. But why the government is so threatening by such a small party trying to organize a protest in the country? Why? These are some of the questions that we will get for answer. These are some of the questions that we will get for think and sit down. Why the government is so threatened by a small party leader for organized women for protest? Well, the answers lie on the psychology of the people in that society. Believe me, I don't think say Femi Claudius Cole pose any threat to that society. Then. If you disagree with me, don't hesitate to put on the comment section. I don't think say it pose any threat. This woman want to be recognized. The APC could have said, you know what, we are the largest opposition, let's do that. They not do that. Claudius wants to be recognized. After all, he get a party, he need more people. The more he did at the spotlight, the more he's been recognized, the more in party become a little bit famous. So it's just a political game where everybody they play. Okay? It's a political game. But I not see any reason why the government should feel threatened because of this. But it also depends on the statement being made before the protest. See? And let me hold on, let me just try for go um, into WhatsApp, because one of the things we sometimes we politicians they can do when a big mistake is, and they talk too much when they want to do something, and they talk past the way with the people. And sometimes now a disadvantage to a minor political party like Unity Party for Claudius Cole. What's are the statement then we some of the women then we been bigger than Claudius Cole in house with it talk. I think say it give a perfect excuse to a timid government for make them crack down on those protesters. One of the things we um, that was being discussed in an in a video where we all some of we see is the fact that some of the women them way in a meeting they talk say then they go attack people their way they know they yield to the protest. The motorcar their way they come on the street, the Okada rider their way they come on the street. This I'm not think say the women and they get that power they for do am, but then and because first of all in the first place the the government don't want any protest because they're afraid. And secondly, because of their statement here, you don't give the government somebody who know want for make you go to street for good protest. The perfect excuse for say, well, um, we dey try for protect the people, right? We they try for protect the people and properties. Other than that, I don't see no reason why the government for feel threatening. The good news though is that even the people that way they arrest, the IG actually go and release them people that they without any charge. So that's good. That's good. But there is another variable into this protest we get to do with a meeting where all the political parties we from COP they hold with the police prior to the protest. Femi Claudius Cole sent a letter requesting for permission, sent a letter to the police requesting for permission for protest on Monday. So the police invited COP, that is, those consortium of progressive political parties. Um, they invite them one meeting where they all go see them. According to the document, Femi Claudius Cole was not was not present at the meeting, but he sent in secretary, in party secretary, for to represent the young party. And in that meeting, based on the information and the document we um, was released, all the people that will attend the meeting, including Claudius Cole, his secretary, agreed to postpone the, the protest to another date. I don't know why, but this is not the agreement with them. And what think can happen now after that? Well, this was a protest where the women them they're supposed to for do. Another group come out. I think they wait for make the WhatsApp website load for make I see. I think na NWP or something like that, National Women's whatever. This group all of a sudden pop up and decide for protests where it happened for BC. The same Claudius, Femi Claudius Cole, where they hold the meeting, they agree say the protest should be postponed to another date, can be part of this new group for do the protest. Okay? I'm not get too much beef into this, so I have to be neutral. I have to say the truth. That's my flagship uh, behavior. When I sit down at this chair, I am neither APC, neither anybody else, but a host. And a host should be neutral, even if I get my own personal feelings, opinion. But first of all, I have to present the story as it is. Then, after that, I can give my own opinion. But these are some of the things we happen. Right? I talked to one police officer we have uh, one for stay anonymous, Masalo, we tell me say one of the things we make the police, I mean, go out for go arrest um, Femi Claudius Cole is kind of a betrayal, kind of insincerity, because the older agrees him, the protest should be postponed to another date, not stop the cancel the protest. That was not their agreement. They not be agreed for cancel the protest. They agreed for postpone the, the protest. And after that meeting, according to this anonymous police officer, Claudius, therefore, come being in company, corp members them, we believe in that meeting, he go instigate another group for this. Well, I have not spoken to Femi Claudius Cole. This is just a one man story. But I think documentation also don't confirm the story. Yes, we have a documentation where proves that yes, indeed there was a meeting between COP and the police, and the decision of the meeting was to postpone this meeting, make it not take place on this past Monday. I think the Monday was I don't know what date. Let me just say this past uh, this past Monday was the fourth. The fourth was all right. So if according to the police you don't agree with the security service, we supposed to protect you because one of the things we according to the police them what happened if another group we count they try for counter them women here we the go protest and there's a clash. There will be damages to probably lives and properties. So according to the police, this is why they say make them postpone am and make sure they find another date where they could do this so the police will, will give them the protection. I don't know whether it is true or not, but this is the argument. And like I said, this actually because of this particular action by Femi Claudius Cole, give the police a perfect excuse to say, oh yeah, Nadami, we actually go down very hard on you. Well, the good news is she has been released. So that's good, right? Um, the bad news is it further damaged the trust between the police and the political parties, especially the opposition political parties. The APC no get hands in this one until now we get begin. The APC no get hands in this. This is exclusively Femi Claudius Cole and the women them we think say. And that's to think it's a reality for say yes. Things are very difficult in that country. We all know things are very, very difficult. Some of we will get family members the way now we are responsible for their family members. Them. We know that. The people then way they don't need for tell we know because now we they feel the heat. You know, we they feel the heat very, very seriously. So things are very difficult. So if the women they say, you know what, we need for protest for make we able for call on the attention of government for say these things are going out of control. Things are unmanageable. I don't think saying a kind of a big problem at all. I don't think so. But in a society where the mental status of the people are way too low, everybody is angry, everybody is politically, blinded. It's easy for make you start something we know we good control. The police not get right for go down hard on the people there. I totally they against that. The police don't get that no right. In a democratic society, you have to give chance to the people who agree. If somebody hold cutlass, if somebody hold gun, then that's the responsibility of the police or somebody uh, threatening for good damage properties. That's not the responsibility of the police for making sure that. But regular protest is part of the fundamental principle of free democracy. And the more we governments know about it and allow that to happen, the better our democracy will be. So you see, the the waves, the uneven part of democracy. And in Africa, places like Sierra Leone, one of the problems that we at the see from who young people them, from who young leaders them, they don't like criticisms. So them criticisms now one of the biggest threats that they own political life. I understand. I totally understand. Sometimes some of the criticisms are not warranted, called for, necessary, but it's part of the process. You understand what I'm trying to talk about, right? Criticisms of leaders is part of the process of democracy. And if you want to become a politician, you're not able for accept criticisms. You need for get away from the kitchen because it is inevitable, especially in a place like Sierra Leone, where we they take the meaning of opposition literally up in our position where they for oppose. The good are they oppose. The bad are they oppose. The final are they oppose. The ugly are they oppose. This type of mentality is being embedded into the system. And because we not get the maturity for understand the purpose of multi-party democracy, we use its organs, its attributes the wrong way. And you, as a politician, we want for go lead people. Now, one of the things that we get for understanding, this is going to happen to you. You do good or then get for opposing, criticize you. Let alone you do bad. If you don't accept that, there's no need for you for become a politician. That's all. Okay, let's get that in the back of your mind. And not to Claudius Cole no more let me arrest. Um, the NGC leader was also invited by police. They invite him. I don't know if they be arrest him, but they invite him. We don't understand why they invite the NGC leader. What he actually caused invitation? Was he part of the protest? I don't know. I don't know. But they invite him. And maybe a few more people. I not say they arrest him because it been request for make them release him that day because it been a time for make an arrangements for the arrival of a leader when Dr. Kande Yumkela when he left die na Austria. So I think the body just come yesterday. They fly the body. So then his bride supposed to do the arrangement as alone so that when they bring the body, it will be smooth funeral. But the police then refuse for and bail. But I understand him. They don't release him. So that's a very good thing. Okay, a very very good thing. Now, since I don't okay, so now WhatsApp websites come up. It's very safe. I don't know. It seems like the internet looks slow today. Um, so now I don't talk a lot about um, the the circumstance that led to the arrest of um, these people, the opposition leaders like Dennis Wright and Femi Claudius Cole. I don't talk about those. Now let's talk about why waiting precipitates the protest where the woman and the try for do. Thank God, I don't think say any major problem happen. In fact, na freedom that day na so rain. Now some of the interior part I still say rain not been there too much, so some people have come on the street, but the police actually suppressed them immediately. So there was no major incidents where happen. So that's not a very good thing because waiting I don't want to make it happen. We don't want for make we just dey continue for lose the lives of the potential leaders, the future leaders, them. The young women and they and begin and they that's something we all get for bear in mind same, for happen. So there is no need for a loss of life. Alright? Okay. Now waiting actually they go on a saga. I think a couple of weeks back, um make some statement na this broadcast wey get for do with the economic situation of the country. Say if wetin dey go on, we no dey try for put things in together, Sierra Leone will soon file for bankruptcy. I am telling you this. If we no dey be careful, if the government not try for put modalities very quickly for make sure say they manage this economic crisis wey dey go on at the country so, we may soon file for bankruptcy. The economy in the country is not good. This is not a secret again for people the way they follow what's in the gun as alone. Not to people that within our social media no more, they defend the indefensible, those who only focus on the attack. No. For some of we actually they pay attention waiting they go on. Sierra Leone economy is on the brink of bankruptcy. Imagine how much money we would they pay for pay we loans them every single month. Just imagine. The money now where would they pay, where would they send na them institutions here, where would they borrow money? Iboku pass the money where would they use na salon, where would they pay we employees them na salon. Right now, it's almost about 70% of we GDP is being diverted to payments of loans. So you see exactly why the country is really struggling. And I remember during the time of the Anas Koroma regime, we we just the borrow no more. We just the borrow. Ah, the international community, the let queen, and that make them they give we money. Me now, one of the few people that would they look at some of their loans and say, wanna be careful. This is not good for any country. Then Madabio come. Well, Madabio they borrow pass even an Eskoroma. And again, and here is the funny thing. During the time of an Eskoroma, where would they borrow money? We they feel say now some kind of an affirmation for say yes, the international community then trust we. Now that make them they give we money. Now so we be they defend. And when I say we, don't necessarily mean say me, because everybody knows say me now somebody way not to every some of them here they take seriously because I know how things then they go. But during the internet day, the SLPP folks, they mean they criticize because of the borrow who they borrow. And now, then kind of power. Then they borrow now then they borrow past we, and now we they criticize them. Now then they defend. You see the funny things where you go on a salon. You see why I always they talk saying the problems of Sierra Leone's are not actually the politicians. The problems of Sierra Leone has to do with us, the citizens. If we not try for refine the way we they think for the benefits of that society, there, we're not going to ever go before. We're not going to ever progress the way we're supposed to progress. And that is unfortunate because when you look at Sierra Leone today, waiting America gets when it comes to human resources, we will not get. I'm not talking about natural resources. I'm talking about human resources. The knowledge. It's all there. We get the prerequisite for make we able to manage we economy, organic local economy. We I don't say that we not borrow, but we dey minimize how we dey borrow so that we entire GDP, we entire revenue, no go 70% of it not they go to interest loans because most of them loans they need interest. We say they go loan $50 million, then give you about 20% interest. Imagine how much they pay per month. 20% interest of $50 million. You see, this is where the problem is. This is where we have to be patriotic. Patriotism now something where important for every member of society. Yeah. Dr. Kamara, until you come na the video, so I'm not going able to bring you come because I know they see you. I they see the background, but when you come, I will bring you come. So now another thing where I don't talk about this now, the TPN forum. Then there's all the way this debate about fuel business coming. Quite recently, we they see the government they send police and government officials and they go na them petrol station them and they go force the petrol station owners for make them they sell them petrol. All right, is this a very good idea? No, I just want to make you answer if this is a very good idea. Yeah, we'll just continue for put in a comment at the comment section. George Owell at the camera you they can't discuss about your comments because I'm not the only person for so we don't put uh, comments. I will discuss about that. Is this a good idea for government for go out there and force gas station owner for make them sell them gas? This answer is also depend on political affiliations based on which I don't read na social media. For the SLP folks, yeah, it's good. It's good because them people that they do them intentionally for damage the economy of the country. Okay. For the APC folks, we no, it's not good at all. And day before yesterday, I think I put the question, this similar question at the TPM forum. It's almost the whole night because now even time I put that one there. The whole night, people they need at that forum there, then they argue. The morning where I wake up, I get nearly 1,000 messages just on that topic. So you just see the the tension, the division, uh, where they happen now with society. All right, here is my take on that. Well, let me remove Dennis Bryce now. Here is my take on this particular issue. Now, if the government they incentivize the gas station owners, the one the way they sell gas, the government they incentivize them. For example, remove or reduce the interest where them people are then they pay for the sake of making sure them people then they because the gas don't expensive throughout the world, so then we're able to recuperate the money where then they spend for go buy this gas and for go import this gas here. If the government they incentivize them people then they and the gas owners they agree for say yes, then they take these incentives here and make sure the gas will be available. And after taking those incentives, those benefits, these gas station owners then keep the gas and begin sell them under the black market. Yeah, I support the governments for make then go in and force them people in there for sell their gas, especially if gas they available. Yes, I'm saying. I know say you disagree with me, and you get the right to disagree with me. But I am not talking because of partisan motives. I'm talking because of the country. Some of you get motoka, they're in a salon. Okay? We know exactly what in the go in a salon when it comes to gas. Most of the not to say gas not in the country. Gas they in a salon. But most times, them gas station owners, yeah, then they know they sell the gas na the public market, then they sell it na the black market. Because I understand say some people them for a liter, they can sell her up to 35, 40,000 leons per liter. Compare that to 20,000, at 20, I think 22 or 20 so, around that range there, where na the public market price. So you see, but if and I want for me you listen me very carefully because I don't want for make you construe me statement. But if the government no they give any incentives to them gas owners them, gas station owners, I know they support the government for going in Somebody take him money, you know, help him, you know, give him money, he take him money, he go. He go buy gas, he go import gas, he bring am. Now, after us, na in product. There is no way where a government for go force them people that they for sell them gas. Are you going to control price? That's not the responsibility of government. But are you going to force those people? Right? Are you going to force those people? No. You don't get that right there. Because we live in a capitalist system. People get the right for go buy and sell them products where they want for sell. If I go buy, I can't keep them. Not to you the losses. Because you don't put penny there. So you see the balance where they try to make between um the impact of waiting them people that they do and the responsibility of government. Now let me come back to the first statement where I make saying if the government actually give incentives to them people like they agree say yes indeed they are going to make gas available throughout the country because of their incentives and then take the incentives here and then take the gas and keep on begin sell underground for maximize profit. Yeah, the government get the rights for make them go into them uh, gas stations and try for force them for sell the gas. There is another alternative. It's even though it's dangerous, there's another alternative where the government go able to do. The government get power. Yeah, I don't say the government is broke, but at least the government able for pull enough amount of money wherever then they pull that amount there for go import gas for themselves, buy a lot of gas. Right now, Russia or wherever, Saudi Arabia, but mostly Russia right now, then gas, then they need new customers. Them Russia they sell gas to China and India below the price because they want to encourage customers them so that those customers will replace the Europeans will sanction Russia. So it is an opportunity for make um a government like Sierra Leone so buy then cheap gas flood at the market. If you flood if the government go buy import gas and flood at the market, the private business is the way they keep them gas, then go realize say they are at loss. So then go probably want for sell this gas quickly before it's too late for them. That's another alternative. But are they do they have the infrastructure? I don't know. I don't think so. Or the government import this gas, then sell them cheap to the gas station with a written agreement saying we are selling this gas to you very cheap, cheaper than the normal price. So you go able for put on a gas station and sell them this price. Now this amount of profit you they make, and at this amount of um, quantity, you make sure say they sell. I don't know whether that's what the government they do right now. Maybe that make then they go after people them where they keep them gas. But these are some of the things that we are looking at for the normalcy of with society. All right. The third option where I've been put earlier, the danger because I tell me I say there is danger to that. The moment right now, the way I see from Ernest Koroma in time, I dey see same government they try for privatize most of the things them where governments been they do for the country. So if government begin take ownership of them thing and they again, it they undermine privatization. That's not the danger no more. Okay? All right, now what do you think? I don't give you all my opinion for over an hour. Now, what do you think? What's in your own opinion? Tell me all the things that I don't talk. What you think about that? Okay, before I do that, let me bring in uh 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 all right. Um doctor, doctor, all right, let me bring you because he been asleep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the multitask now, so now the thing that.
All right. So Idul Mubarak, first of all.
Same to you. Ushade, Eid
Yeah,
Mubarak, how the family?
they do well. So what do you think about the protest where the whole Femi Claudio school and the gas where the policeman and then they go now then petrol station them then they go first the gas owners for make and sell them gas. So what are your take on that before we go to the comment section?
Sierra Leone will not reach a point. I always the talk will not need for complaint anymore, now solutions. And then we go able for move the country forward. All right. The women they meet according to what you will see, make Claudia Femi Cole,
Mm-hmm.
Femi Claudia's Cole, he lead them on this protest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Now then take the woman, then Karen go now cell CID, go put on a cell. And I feel say that was very tactful.
Yeah.
Therefore listening to them, they allowed the woman then listen to them, then try for strike a compromise. Then
True.
all man for go back with well body. But by holding that woman and testing the resolve of the woman, then they still come out. And when they come out, everybody see them. Then get them placards in. They say they want to talk to the PA. Again, here is something. Now the solutions they get for the this is where the brain work you get for work, not to force every time.
Yeah, I agree.
So if the IG way being engage them, they say, okay, when I'm more go na race course, now lure in the lure them for go put them na cell or something. That's all they flare up the situation. This is the time you come as a leader because most, of course, protesters they never achieve their aims at the very beginning, but in the end they go achieve them. And then why just by coming out, then few one anyway come out, they don't broke the thaw, they don't broke the ice. We don't ever did a salute. So this the government for sit down and think, say, you know what? We get for change tactics. And I think that could have been, I don't know, would that could be the advisor or the president himself, they will come, they reach a compromise. Not so laziness. I mean, the government has all the power, they get all the forces in their hand. But hey, so the international world is looking at us. And I mean, don't they look at us? So throwing a challenge to those women, you are not throwing a challenge to them. You are throwing a challenge to the international world. And it give you more bad name. This is the way I look at it. And this, if I don't be a lesson for make we stop right there so that the country not move from point A, B to C with this type of protests. Compromise, solutions. Okay, they don't come, they say they protest for party A, B, C. They say this is that a national something where don't affect them. And these were their reasons. Whether they are biased or not biased reasons, they're not called no party in them.
Except the fact that they end up for go they end up to Samura in house.
Yeah. Well, you go, okay, you go end there.
Oh yeah. I didn't go end up.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't be see that party. Well, I don't be see that party.
You go to Samura and say we want it. Samura,
Oh,
we
oh, 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 oh. Well, maybe sometimes a samurai is an easy find because at the area they sometimes
yeah,
they come now, you know.
yeah.
Yeah. And Well, I mean, this take me to another question. Look that poor lady where they go will say Nanes Kuruma Sena. Nanes Kuruma been they talk to. They say they meet one lady, they sit down nearby the state house, they talk on her phone. So Nanes Kuruma been they talk to. Okay, let's say if Nanes Kuruma even they talk to. If
I
you're
don't
not
think
infallible,
I don't think say na criminal act for talk to anybody.
yeah, so far, yeah. So all this the accumulate. Right now, some people they call me now. They begin to ask me. They say, "Oh, we like you. You they send them music. The APC songs them. Well, but you know they send them now." Now I say the APC songs here. Not to me. They make them. I not get rights to them. Like how they come now, so they push them all around. So myself, I don't know. Like say the APC right now my face. Now I tell you, I say, be not to APC now. They say, but you know APC.
They say once a soldier, you are always a soldier.
Yes. Just like you, we used to that. Like I say, Bo, back on time, not to ABC. Go see, Bo, come on, Bo.
I know, but I know that. I know that. Say,
So here is something. It not wrong for belong to a party or talk to somebody with a politician. We're all interrelated. So now I just feel say the yeah the next question we say for comment on now on the gas, not so.
yeah, the gas, yeah.
Yeah. Um I don't know, but this gas problem.
Wait, the policeman and they go and force people them for sell them gas. Now them petrol stations them. So the question was, uh, is it that the police actually give incentives to them gas station now, where they agree say yes, they go make the gas available them later on after they don't get this incentive from the government and keep the gas and begin sell them now the black markets for get more profit.
Well, this is a catch-22 question, Mr. Mankota. Now, would I own the gas to start with?
Well, what I understand, especially I think the the gas owners, the gas stations, them, and
Mm,
then they go buy gas from I think Leone or something like that, and
mm.
then distribute them to their own stations, them, and begin sell them. But either way, I don't think say the government actually gets ownership of the gas. Now the private sectors then and then they import this gas. Company like Leone Gas, I think they call them Leone Oil or something like that.
But the government gets interest or it gets away with the profit they write.
Yeah, well, say every business has a loan. You get for pay tax from that business to the government, which is directly they go to the government. And also now the question we are not able for understand is some people that then tell me say that's the case, but I not get official confirmation from the government for say when the gas issue been come up after on Ukraine, where gas begin, where NATO, European and America then sanction Russia, gas go up not so, so gas become very scarce. So some people then say the government meet with then gas owners, the one way then they distribute the gas to, for saying that this we supposed for do. So this is the incentive them what would they give now so that una go able for recuperate any losses so una dey get because of the cost of the gas, but una get for make the gas for be available to people there because the problem was the gas was not available. And if indeed that is the case, I'm not able for confirm that, but if indeed that is the case, and you take the incentives, then you keep gas. Now the reason that the way missing, that is actually not good for the gas owner. But if that is not the case, the government not get right for go force them people in there at all because now
Yeah,
you go back.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm at try for talk now yeah, because the increase, whatever increase now increase. I mean, before Ukraine and after Ukraine, the gas be not the increase.
Uh,
This this not the point at the drive for drivers. And
mhm.
again, this is where we need solutions in Sierra Leone. And this is I hate to use the word subsidy. Even in America now, at maybe a month ago, way or few weeks ago, whereby they say, well, therefore make some sacrifices them. I mean, give subsidies so that may the gas be available at a cheaper price. So this is where we are going to look into. But instead of the gas it calm down, mind you, that's not a right. You know, you can't make two wrongs, make right. I'm not saying anybody's wrong here.
Yeah.
If the increase when they go up, and this increase, the gas owners them, themselves they hoard the gas so that men can get profit. Because who said engine would come out? Now from the station.
Yeah, yeah.
So to avoid this jabu, they were this later on that they get for the bond house because then they go keep an house, not a proper place for keep them.
I tell
Okay.
you.
Now double jeopardy they come.
Yeah.
Okay. If the government mean they take a certain amount, therefore sacrifice, they say, well, this sacrifice we they do it for the nation. If now 1, 2, 3 months, we say, okay, this one will not be the pay, more will split them. We'll not take 50-50. Instead of the gas go up, we'll maintain them or bring them down. That will solve the problem. I mean, this is the way I look at it. Because
Yeah,
you can't say,
I agree with you, doctor, and that's how it's supposed to be.
mm,
Subsidies supposed to be the replacement of any added cost way them people are then supposed to forget. You understand?
mhm.
Um, very important for make the government at this time, if not 3 months, like you say, or four
Mhm.
months, see how
Mhm.
things they can subsidize. Yes, the gas in price can still go to 20,000 as it is now, but now for that 20,000, the government's the money where they're supposed to forget from that, then tax them, then
Then
make
wake
a
up.
half, yeah, half. So it's still the person we getting gas station, they still make money, you know.
Then we encourage them for the selling gas instead of you
Yeah.
keep them, you hold them for go big seller. Now, this is where the solution is. Now, this have been the try for talk. For say, um, this it don't come to draw. Would I hold pan the handle and the nef? Whether not the seller them, let me can say, would I own the gas? Then people that say will own the gas. I mean, either way, sometimes they go say, well, the subsidies where government they put away the levy pan them and taxes the every so themselves, they don't go make a book profit. So they will agree make the price go up so that when they get their own cut. So if you draw under, that you draw under, you don't know who hold the handle. This one will for hold the handle. You for hold at the sharp side. They get for
Okay.
luck.
All right. Let me just bring something quick here because I've been promised for Bianca. Um, for people that way not been there from the beginning of the program, I've been talk about the meeting where the police and COP, the consortium of medical practice. Now the meeting attendance list this where you get Mosiri A Bangura, he represent nine the national secretary for UP. I don't know what's in our UP party. And you get Bami Thomas in in the Secretary General for I think uh, Claudia School in party also. And you get Jubil Tula for the CDP, the chairman. You get Tamba Suma or whatever.
Tamba
Eh,
Sandy,
Tamba Sandy, okay. He
maybe
represents uh see, I don't know which party it is anyway.
C4C.
C4C. Oh yeah, C4C. Um I don't know how people then they write. The time who been in as alone who they go school. They beat we for write bad, but now everybody they write what you want. Okay, you get Tony BH Songa, national chairman for PMDC. Dennis Bright, NGC. Suzanne Williams, NPD. Isata Dora Bangura, PMDC Secretary General, and you get Kalmo Kaba for APC. And and this na the people that will be represent this na from awareness times. Sylvia Blyden I send this to me. Then this year, na me private email where I've been try for investigate. All right, so that's not the document where I've been talk say there was some kind of a list where people that attend. Now I can just pull this. let we continue with discussion. And now, okay. Now let we go to. Oh, you don't know, doctor. Before we go to the comments.
Yeah, therefore, try for find either temporary solution for you know ease the public transportation and make everybody go because the more we go and they stand off because I call it a standoff, the more we get problems.
Yeah. So now one thing number where I want to say, doctor, and everybody where they watch. Oh, doctor. All right.
Yeah, make them all meet halfway. When they
Okay.
meet halfway, then the price could be either standstill or a kind of look what me na go dey go so because the gas business na problem all over the world. Una no can meet
Well,
me.
exactly. That was the thing where I be one for talk for let people they know same. In as much as we want for criticize the government in
It's
this
not
part.
a criticism. Yeah, I mean it is like providing suggestions or solutions towards it.
Yeah, yeah.
Solutions,
So that's problem now a global problem. So we also get for give a little bit of we get for be a little bit of sincere.
Mm.
I see social media then they blame this government and I don't like this government because of the mistakes when they do unnecessary mistakes when they do. But there are times where we all get for be patriotic and say yeah we understand say yes indeed this government will not like them. But this particular issue then a day out of their own control. It's just facts. A day out of their own control. For gas, the governments then go do what it then goes get for do, but it is outside of their own control because now a global issue. They're not going able um control that at all. Now let's go to the comment section now. We got George OL. George OL, thank you very much for your comments. You say, hi, Dr. Mankota. I think you are mixing up the story. COP and the women's protest are two different things. The women's protest was initiated by the women and they came and met Madame Femi Cole to join them as being the women's ambassador. She agreed to stand in solidarity with the women. Actually, I am not mixing the two. They are all interrelated. George Orwell. They are interrelated. Before them, people let them come. Um, Femi Claudius Cole already done write a letter. He don't already write a letter to the police. Actually, not to the women, then come meet Claudius Cole. This was something where they all sit down and discuss. And as I tell you now, I don't defend Claudius Cole already on this particular program here already. So I don't want to go back to and start again. I just want to explain. They are the same. Claudius Cole actually initiated the 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 protest. Now after the police that document will argue after the police them will meet with them that's cop and say make them postpone the 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 the, the protest. Now the time now we will see another group we call themselves I think NWP or whatever we happen for be the women's national women something. Now that group they come up, okay, and then go back say, well, they need for protest. Then go to Claudius Cole in your house again. Then go sit down and talk about that. But the protest was actually something we initiated by Femi Claudius Cole. So not two different things at all. I know say some people them then you just look at the latter part of the this incident where happened. That is the NWP or whatever they call themselves. But initially there was nothing like NWP. Right. Okay, sorry. So NWP, there was nothing like that until after this meeting. Okay, so I just want to make you know about that. So not to mix up at all. All right, Brahma Kabo says, bro, you are not the right person for this job. You are so mixed up. No sense in what you are saying. All right, Brahma Kabo, um, not just criticize somebody, bring your own points so that we're able to learn from each other. That's the purpose of this program. If you think, say, the person where they talk, he get it wrong, not just criticize, bring your own comment so that that person they go able to learn from you But if you just say no sense at all, then you just sit down. There is nothing where you dey contribute. Then it doesn't make sense at all for even say something because you're not going to able to add any value into the discussion. So I want you back for make you bring waiting are you inside of the story where you sabi. So we go able learn from you. Okay. All right. George Owen say, Doctor, good leader comes with good policies. Citizens follow the leadership action. Like you said, in the US, the president come with good policies where citizens thrive. But in Sierra Leone, we just have criminals and selfish leaders who do not care for the citizens. And do you expect the citizens to behave? No. In the first part of your statement, I agree with you, George Owen. Every leader should come up with good policies. And not only coming up with good policies, because during the time of the campaign, we get most of the best policies them. You go agree with me. For same, during the campaign, everybody they come up with good policies. But after the campaign, you also need for implement those good policies. So I agree with you on that. But Usai, I can deviate a little bit with you is the fact that most times these leaders, as you call them, this a bunch of criminals, they try for abuse the people them. But now we are the same people that when they abuse, now depending on whose side of the aisle you did. This is the problem also. So now that make us say it's kind of a collective responsibility. We are also responsible for the degradation of the society. Because if we all, irrespective of whether you're an APC, SLPP, or whatever political party, if the leader do bad, you come out publicly or privately or anyway, you criticize that leader day, next time the leader will be cautioned. But if we they come out publicly, we they defend that leader, even consciously, we not say this leader, what you do now, wrong thing, then we are also contributory factor towards the degradation. Doctor, I don't know if you want for chime in on that.
No, I've been not giving me own comment on that, and um, but Mark could just follow up with the other comments then where they come.
All right. So George Orwell says, do you think Sierra Leone will go to Russia to buy gas? Please, doctor, be serious. These guys only know how to steal, but have no idea to innovate new strategies for development. I agree with you. I agree with you. And even then get the money for doing to them, it's all about their own pockets. Okay. So I agree with you, George, what you talk so. Totally I agree with you.
Yeah. The only thing where me solution what I get partners them way for bring oil in a salon and for sell. So if I can able get a good incentive, I will come, I give a good price
All right.
supply to the country.
All good
No,
is
honestly, this is what I'm saying. Yeah. Mhm.
now Saudi Arabia.
I get from Saudi Arabia, I get from America, yeah, and Canada.
Okay. Well,
Mhm.
you better contact the government right now. They need all kind of help with they able get.
Yeah, okay.
Contact them. Okay,
Mhm.
George Will say our governments are so lazy that they totally depend on our slave masters to decide our destiny. I agree with you. And in fact, I don't need to add anything here. All what you say are true. And that make most of the time our emphasis is not much about the people, it's about the international community. Because these are our slave masters, Now then they determine how for run we country, how for do things the way they want, not to the way the people they want. So our leaders are not actually um, responsible to the people. They are responsible to the masters, like you say so. So I agree with you. And George also says, thank you, Dr. Kamara. This is how deceitful this our government and police have become. They never want to listen to the citizens' concern. It is always their way or the highway. We are now living in a dictatorship country disguised in democracy. I agree. I totally agree. All right, let's go to by Wale. By Wale say, Mankota, the gas per liter is not 20, it's 22,000 currently. Thank you very much for the correction. Yeah, I'm not being sure. Now that make I say it is within that range there. So thank you for the correction. All right. George Orwell say, Doctor, gas price had started going up in Sierra Leone before Russia and Ukraine war. That is just a lazy excuse for these criminals to fool the citizen. If that is true, the question will be, what has the government done to cushion the price of gas to alleviate the average citizen's suffering? Remember, gas price predicts all commodities in the market. If the government cares for its citizens, they will sit with the oil marketers and renegotiate the price of oil to cushion the citizens' suffering. I agree with you. Nothing to
Yeah, that was my point. I myself agree with that. That was
yeah.
my point. Mm.
So you are totally correct, George Orwell. Now let's go to by Wale say up means unity party. Okay, thank you, by Wale. All right, so and by Wale also say, but Mankota, how comes other counties the increment is way minimal, whilst in Sierra Leone the increments are continuous and very astronomical. Yeah, I don't know. Let me tell you the fact. I don't know why that is the case. Um, every country gets their own way when they buy things them, import things them from the country. Imagine if, let's say, in Guinea, Guinea then gets I think almost free ports, right? All right. So because they not get this huge tax on imported goods, it easy for make the goods them when they come to the country, then sell them in a minimal way. Sierra Leone, we all know same, then just they increase port taxes every single time that they increase. So when somebody go buy gas very expensive, $130 per barrel, or $100 right now, I think it's $100 per barrel. You go buy them, then you come back to the country, for brand can the country, then the government can tax you very expensive. Ha, you get for sell am expensive. Oh. So every country gets in your own way of doing things. So I'm not going to tell you why, but these are some of the factors where I think saying as so. But now a very good points where you bring come. Now, doctor, if you want for come in anytime, interrupt me no more. Doctor,
Well, yeah. I mean, not to interrupt. I'm seeing the point where they answer. Like I say, the government get for coming and give a solution and sacrifice and these subsidies. I think say this name in the happen now the other neighboring countries. What in government they get, if you not say you go for Goam, then the problem not go solve. And for make you do that one day, if for swallow the bitter pill so that the country as a whole go benefit. This
yeah.
is the way I look at it. Probably this nine the other countries around we nine them they do for say, okay, let's put the leverage at this so that an equilibrium would be there and life will go on with the people then. I
Mhm.
mean, that's the way I look at it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, George Orwell say, Doctor, sorry, I'm not talking about campaign policies. I'm talking about implementation of policies when they come to power. Yep, like we have in Rwanda, Zambia, and Tanzania, to name a few. Do you think those countries are better than us? We just have lazy and criminals who come to power to loot. The day we have a visionary leadership, you will see the changes in attitude to the citizen. Amen. I agree with that. May God make we get that leadership there, hopefully. But most times the people are making the leader to be who he is. We also get to understand that the people will make the leader who he is. All right. So let's all put our hands together for make that leader, that visionary leader possible. Because the leader can get vision, it can come up with good ideas, but the society then say there's something psychology where they say society influence society influence man as much as man influence society. You read that saying, right? Society influence man as much as man influence society. I can get all the vision for that country then, for go do the best. When I reach under because of the society influence, if I don't be careful, then will change me very easily, become a bad leader. So
Yes,
this.
but Iman Kota,
Mhm,
let's look at the word leadership. All what you talk to is true, and what in the other man they talk not true. When they say leadership, sometimes in your own solo moment, that day you go able to think and you put true leadership. Okay, for instance, in Sierra Leone, forget about politics. Now, office self, where they make a new manager, where they come. Oh, the power. All man don't be camper. Even the one they will pass you, and they call it the power. They put in the borrowed robes. They're not tell you the truth, what's in they go on. So we go on swimming in this, I don't know, borrowed ropes where then they put power.
mhm.
Now, I pick from what you talk to the society, now then they make we become monsters because then they see who they go wrong, but still they don't say it. And then, especially the close ones, the way they to it, they're not a challenge. Or the leader, when somebody tell them the truth, they punish them. It's a
Yeah,
two-way traffic also.
I
So
talked about that
we,
earlier today.
yeah, so we get for be very honest here, and all that it gets for know the man in character. I mean, we get for be dignified in what
Mhm.
you they do. We get for be ethical, and we get for be I don't know, but we'll not get atheist in Sierra Leone. We get for be God fearing.
Okay.
This is the way
Ah,
I look at it.
yeah. So let's go to Musa content. Musa content say there is no room for ordinary citizens, neither room for party members of this government to be critical. Doc, you saw what happened to Givao and his SLPP compatriots when they attempted to be critical. Yeah, it's something that is across party line. Unfortunately, I talk about that Musa earlier. I say one of the problems we will get with politicians, they don't like criticisms at all. And sometimes good leaders actually leaders the way they listen to criticisms and try for modify them behavior because in as much as we dey try for say leader na somebody way visionary, but at the same time leader also na human being, not perfect. So that make
Mhm.
see all this money we dey spend we dey hire what we call advisors them. Now for make them people then they come, the things then way they beyond me, they're able to see then things then they and bring come to me. But like what doctor say, one of the biggest problems again, when they hire you as an advisor, they can't advise the right thing. Now yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everything. Now yes, sir. Yes, the power, yes, sir. That's all. So even if the person they do the leader they do bad, you not get mind for criticize them. And some leaders the way you criticize them, they punish you. They pull you.
The
So this
police.
was the way they happen at that country, unfortunately. Hi, George Orwell say, I disagree with you, sir. Rwanda's president was able to change the attitude of his citizens after the brutal civil war. He admonished them to forget about their tribal slurs and focus in nation's oneness. People saw him and they follow his leadership vision. Actually, I don't know, George Orwell, if you know more about the history of Rwanda. It was not necessarily the leader, yes, in a part of the chain, but it was actually a collective responsibility. After the 19, I think, was it 91 genocide, the people themselves, after they make that commission, I don't know how they call them, um, I forget. The same thing happened in South Africa, reconciliation. The people then realize one of the biggest problems, the biggest thing we the Rwandese take from the civil war is they realize that nobody out of their country not going able to can fix them problem. I want to make you listen to this very carefully. 1994. Thank you very much, George, for what I'm calling. So they realize that nobody outside no they can fix them problem. In fact, most times the people the way they outside then can exploit the problems. Remember,
There you go. Mhm.
during that genocide day, the UN they been get office na Rwanda. The UN been gets troops na Rwanda. Okay? But they say now this na civil war, they're not they intervene. They're not intervene. Over 1 million people die. After that, people realize, say, you know what? All this tribal bigotry way with the things say na the most important thing, they help this country. So then sit down, then form a commission for reconciliation throughout the nation. Okay. Even though, yes, indeed, UN actually facilitated that, but after the damage has been done, you know, for them, because a lot of people that then criticize the UN, then response towards that, now they want to make amends and that make them facilitate this national reconciliation where people they come and talk and try for find a way how for work together. And after this, pop up Paul Kagame. And Paul Kagame himself, now a good leader, no doubt. So now things then way himself, because of the unity, the willingness where he see within the people them, he use in vision for make sure say he hold that that unity. So you see, it is not only Paul Kagame, the new vision, it is the willingness of the people for follow a good leader. And at the thing what they talk about, you can be a good leader, but if the people are not willing to realize that the country is bigger than the tribe, the country is bigger than the section, there is always some kind of undermining they go on. And
Yep,
at the
there
time
you
they
go.
go and make sure say we stop now country. Go ahead, doctor. I think you want to say something.
Yeah, Naim. I mean, for actually put the country first.
Yeah.
Now I'm just a concur, you know.
Country
Mhm.
first. If we all agree on that same, me na Timini, you na Mende down in a Limba, down in a Soso, down in a Yolanka, down in a whatever, it's nothing. It's natural to be born from a tribe. Not to a cause. Tribe is not a cause. I think in the Quran there is something we and see, doctor they are in you know more about the Quran than me. But there
Yeah,
is
well,
something
yeah. God
God
say
created man into tribe for make una able value una self each
no.
other.
You say this is the translation. It say God makes us into nations and tribes
Mhm.
to know ourselves, but the best of you are those that are pious.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's exactly. So being a tribal somebody doesn't mean you are tribalistic. But this this the Western society already don't know say these are one of our weaknesses. This now one of
Yeah.
our weaknesses. So then they use them for divide.
Mhm.
You know that's why they know say they're not like una. So we help now for allow una self go able what them call then give you weapons, then give you all kind of false information for make you hate your brother. Then now what thing get for happen? When your brother talk say after us you na Mende, so me and you not to the same tribe, so I not get nothing to do with you, or you not Timini. You know,
You see, Makota, this is very, 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 very intriguing because Sierra Leone today, and they tell you, say, you very difficult for meet one single tribe, way 100%, they interact with the other tribes, therefore, say, he is only a Mende, a Timni,
none,
or a
none,
Wako. Because intermarriages, they don't take place. Number
none,
one,
actually, yeah,
you
I agree.
see. Okay, and I tell you now something I am. My wife na Creole Fula. Me na Mandingo Timni. Me na APCC for C. My wife na SLPP. What I go do? Let me pick the one they born. Now you can na host. They enjoy we.
Yeah.
Me was at the most liberal house. Where SLPP win, me wife they make me babuya this that. I'm just telling you, you know.
So so
Then
so
then
that's not the good news. Now the good
yeah.
news we get now we country. Now the now me own hope that one day for same. It is very difficult for it is very
Fula,
difficult.
Rio. How you go call them? Na kokoya be.
Yeah.
Na mixture.
I agree. I agree. So that's not the hopeful part of we own nation. We so interrelated so much that it is very difficult for me to get a full blown civil tribal war because, like what you say, so if
The
if
pedigree.
Fulaman, well look, me mama na Fula,
Mm-hmm. Hey, if you
me
are Fula.
You don't have full. So I go fetch full amount them.
No,
No, I can't because na me uncle them. So
no,
there is no way. Full amount they can fetch me own daddy.
no.
No. So you see, that the hope that one day, but yet still, the politicians and these demented people who in our social media, then they still try their level best for fan tribal bigotry. So hopefully, God will protect me from this intergalation. What would they so? All right, Usman Bank say, good evening, sir. The SLPP is no good for Sierra Leone democracy. Well, so, but Usman Banks, the SLPP say APC not good for William democracy. We say the SLPP are not good for William democracy. So, who is good now? The one way in a pious person, not so like waiting doctor say, the Quran say, the good
No,
among
I go answer this mania. You
Usman.
know, there's another definition for democracy from the Greeks themselves.
Yeah,
What is democracy? It is one man ruling himself. If Naini rule himself, then go ahead.
yeah, yeah. I know. So now we go to George Orwell. With all the international community's intervention, had not been visionary leadership that would have deteriorated some. We have such in Sierra Leone too. But look what Madabio is preaching to his people and coming out to the national TV and told the nations that the nation had been divided by our colonial masters and there was nothing he can do. Yeah, Madabio is not one of the best leader. It's not a favorite for me as a patriot, to be honest with you, because number one, Madabio is he knows how to talk in the first place. That's not one of the weakness. Madabio knows how to talk, and he don't sit down for being a leader for since 2000, 1996 after he left power. All in life now for in dream now for become back the president. So I was expecting with them boku years where you don't take for wait for this opportunity for don't learn. He learn how for talk to the public. He learn how he learn from young predecessors the mistakes them. So he would have been the best leader the country ever had because the late Tijan Kabakam, it meets a time when there was civil chaos. So it's very difficult for making able to do much during that situation and them. And as Kuma come, yes, we just come out from war, but the country is still not stable to the extent where you wouldn't call. So it got some kind of an excuse. But Madabio come, it means the country is well stable. Everything was perfect. Then it blew up. So yes, indeed, Madabio is not the best talkative way me they think out for saying a very good leader. Madabio should have done a better job for him first time. Maybe he gets opportunity for we don't do him, but I don't know whether that's gonna be ever possible again because we know what's in a democracy. The first time is your best time for making you able yield results. The second time where everybody know, even within your surrounding, they know say you not get for run again. So what did they do? Now everybody they try for grab what you want for grab. So it's very difficult for make it succeed. It happened to Tijan Kabam, it happened to Anes by Koroma, and it may likely happen to in the Madabio. So you see, so I agree with you, George. Now, Mohamed Kalon, please stop reading this comment. I will read this comment because it's part of
The
um,
program.
the program. So unfortunately, um, you just put your own comment and telling people for make the let make will not read this comment. So I don't know. That's a kind of a contradiction. If you don't want for make me read the comment, don't put your comment in the first place. Why
I
if you
know.
put the comment because you want for make a read the comment. And now you say,
Yeah.
I'll read this comment. So you see the contradiction. All right, come back, bruh. We want for make you tell we what's in your stance in Sierra Leone politics so that we all go learn from you and you go learn from we. Okay. All right.
No, interaction. Interaction. Interactive.
Yeah, interactive session, my brother. Harun Suleiman Kalon Koroma. Wow. Well, look, oh,
Uh,
this name alone don't get two or three tribes inside it. Likely, potentially, it get two or three tribes inside it. All right, but in any case, Ghana was having political issues in those days. It was coup after coup, and then when Jerry Rawlings took over the presidency, the Ghanaians resolved to forget about party politics and then supported Rawlings head on. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. So that's where you see, like what I talked earlier, where George Benita for talk. The people get responsibility while as the leader also gets responsibility. So when them two responsibility and they come together, you get a prosperous country. But if the leader is dumb, the people are unwilling, then things fall apart. So I agree with you, Harun. I totally agree with you. Now George says, I believe he is fermenting all these flames of nostalgia in the country. Late Pakaba was able to manage the country after the war with relative peace, and EBK was able to govern with relative peace with no problem. All right, George, you know, say na na host. I have to be sincere here. During the time of Pakaba, I agree with you. There was no viable opposition to Kaba, right? During the time of Anes Koroma, there was no viable opposition to Anes Koroma. Yes, we had SLPP opposition, but Nade that brown bag business come out, the brown envelope. Most of them sell out. So the only viable opposition, well, I don't know whether it is good to describe it as a viable opposition, but the only opposition where I see they actually do them best is the APC. So, in as much as I want for blame Madabio for this unproductive government way it gets to, let's don't forget we are also part of the problem, and I want to emphasize this. So nobody is free of blame here. Okay, now that number one for sale. Now Nelson Colson say it is rather unfortunate for what is going on in our country. I agree with you, Nelson. It is rather unfortunate, but we can change that. It is me and you that's supposed to change that. How? First of all, let's refine our mentality, the way we dey think. This obsession of partisan politics, they damage Sierra Leone. That is one of the biggest problems. Okay? All right. Idris Fatoma. President Bio is the best president in Sierra Leone. He is the father of democracy. Oh, okay. All right. We sound like can get them kind concept here. President Bio is the father of democracy. Really? Yeah, I go now Sierra Leone in 2015. I've been seeing one poster near the beach. I see where you say them put President Bio, them put in picture, then say father of democracy. I stopped me to kind laugh. I say, oh wow. So people that then can forget quickly. To be honest with you, in as much as we waiting the SLPP want for talk about President Bio being the father of democracy, President Bio not be one for give power until peace settle at that country. Dey. Imagine if everybody agree with President Bio, with democracy for be not start 2002, not 1996. So you see, 6 years, 6 years later, now with democracy for be not start. President Bio, I mean, they shoot people, them were not uh, live bullets. The one that will be in the protest. You remember, sometimes, remember peace before election. Would I actually insist, say, peace supposed to reign before election? Not President Bio. See? So I don't think that they buy that father of democracy and the best leader. What's in are the best from President Biori leadership so far? Tell me one. Tell me one way uniquely separate from the other predecessors the way they don't come. None of them. So I don't agree, Idris Fatoma. And that's not the reality. Maria Kamara say, let's be sincere to ourselves. It is not time for a complete change. What it means is this SLPP and APC is destroying our country. These two parties are very toxic to society. It's time for a change and let people stop flipping back and forth from APC to SLPP. We are getting pissed off. Unfortunately, Maria Kamara, these two parties have become the dominant party now with politics. So it's gonna take a little while for get a,
Rid of them.
a replacement for them to party. Unfortunately, so that's the thing. But one thing where I also want to say before I go end is the fact that sometimes it is not the party itself, it's the leaders, because the party is just an institution. Now the person where they lead them now in the bad, that's what the party. The party just feel like where I get me host. The host not bad. Now the people then waiting at the host supposedly not them bad. So at the same thing, if within them party, if there is a good leader where they can then they're able to change everything back. But now the leaders them, unfortunately, the people them. That's what
Makota,
the last word there.
Makota,
Mhm.
if I can come in, um, you know, it's very difficult for make we leaders them in Africa for say, he look me, he say, you know what, let me take the back seat. I've messed up. Look, for instance, Boris, na London. I mean, now you own party members them now they begin resign to start with.
That's a very good point.
Now they begin resign for say, you know, I don't agree with this. The
Before
man,
they resign self,
mhm,
now them begin criticize them publicly.
yes, yes. The man where him in the talk about COVID, this, that, he go hide, he go make party, you know where mask it. Then he spend the government then couple. So Englishman who select them or white man, they're not get secret to. Where the team was now do? Now pull us on power.
Yeah.
They look where is he say, well, you know what? I mean, it turns so, it turns so, it turns so. In your own party members, the way it feels say, I mean, these are gallant men, the way go ever. So he said, what am I here for? It's under resignation. So I'm not saying that. I mean, our president should do that, but most African presidents, I've never seen one where we look, he say, you know what? Let me take the back seat. Would I
You know,
as
you know
king?
why, doctor? You know why?
No.
Because
Mm.
when they get the power, they
Mhm.
done so much bad that then the phrase say if they left power
Mm.
voluntarily,
Mm.
somebody is going to go after them. This is one of the biggest problems whether not corruption and don't corrupt or something like that. So they
Mm.
want to stay in that power forever.
But then, if we know, say, that vote we get for tooth, you get for go na poto poto. Why for grief for go put a poto poto?
Well, that's the thing. Boris not a good example, sir. So if Bank says he say Boris Johnson not a good example. Now a good example.
Well, I give you a good example, but
Yeah, now a good example because now a good example is the fact that just look at the mess up way Madabi the mess up right now. Okay, in members them most of them they know say Madabi the mess up. Then they talk privately, but when they can public now then they come defend Madabi. You see, so in UK and in Western society, when a leader mess up, the first way they begin hearing now from young party members and then they begin criticize them. In fact, now the party members them now then they force them for make it resign. Here,
then they lambast them. Yeah.
yeah, in Africa, now the party members and then they force them for make it stay. You see the differences. So now a very good example, except you bring your own example anyway. But now a very good example. All right. Okay. Well, I think say we don't reach to the wow. 2 hours now we don't ask you now. almost. We don't reach to the I think Ibs himself down. Okay, Ibs says he he was forced to resign. This could have been done years ago. He lied to the parliament and denied about the party. Yeah, but it's a process. Okay, it's a process. No leader, not the way just one for common no more. It go one for faith. But if you see say young people themselves we supposed for protect them, they know they protect them. Now the process now they you get for realize say you know what it's time for me for make a go. In Africa, they put in doctor same. In Africa, that's not the way things happen. I Musa Conte say, Doc, a good leader with national interest will make us forget all about our senseless differences. But Sierra Leone does not have that at the moment. I agree. Totally agree with you, Musa. You see, the thing about you, Musa, always, you know, one of my favorite viewers them because when they come in, they come with matured, statement and way. It's very difficult for me somebody deny the fact, So most of the time I can enjoy for reading you statement them now this program here. So thank you very much for that. Now you say we have a leadership who govern begrudgingly. For me, that is a missed opportunity on the part of the government. The leader's local speeches always gears towards dividing the citizenry. Good governance is always a guarantee for second term, but yeah, well, I know they add anything again. So you actually hit the nail on the head. I Usman Bank said, thank you, sir, for making us to be to talk about this president. Oh yeah, yeah. It's part of this program. Um hey, if we not criticize with president, who that get for criticize them? Nobody. Nobody. Now we supposed for criticize them. Now we supposed for also help them or make you succeed. And that's Namion misnomer if I can call am so, because to the way the country there now, people like we so na misnomer. Uh, Somebody way weird, they within the line of society mentality. Me, I dey criticize we leaders them, and I also show them, guide them how it for succeed. So that's na me and them. So you always welcome Osman Banks. Always Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern time when I don't know which side they call from, but 3 p.m. Eastern time, always. Thank you, sir, for making us understand about this president's bio democracy thing. Thank you too. All right, so doctor, you get the last word. Let's try to close this.
All right. My people, my brothers and sisters, um, this na program where we dey try for exercise and make we try for help yourself. We dey talk everything about we presidents them, we ministers them, we this that. But sometimes when you put one finger up, see how many it go point at you. Make we dey look, we examine we own conscience. What do they do? Are we helping the situation in Sierra Leone or are we destroying it? Also, we don't fortunate for come out. Not to all side government they put on for develop the country. You have the private sector. And also, do your people who brother them, some of we will come out the up country. We get Boku land then they are the big. Freetown, not a place for go. First you go make farm body. And because all side don't jump pack. All side don't jump pack. No line not again. Who side they go build us? Moku go out small. After Waterloo, you go see the land, a barren. I mean, a beer. Mashaka, Tego Bo, Tego Makeni, all side there and there. If in a Casada with the plant, that one they go put some cash and change in our pocket. Because Casada, Garaman go come, he come buy Gary. Nigerian man go come, he come buy Gary. Even inside Salo. Today, what in Gary they do? Hey, if you not to Gary, plenty people are not they survive. But now one thing I don't see, because I go to my village and I go back to my tongue, that young man, the way they company and they try for make them go plant. You know get people the way like agriculture. but they like for harvest for you. Then they watch them compete where they don't money, they don't do all things. Now next, then go with them bag them.
Then go thief.
Then go thief. No, let us be real to ourselves. America was rich because of agriculture. All the minerals and then are grown. They not touch them. Even this oil, they get oil. If in a granite with a plant, Mark will make that money. But again, do you and encourage we own brothers them back where they abroad, because for even for go make that farm, you get for buy oil, you get for buy cutlass, you get for go brush the bush, you get for Mark we sponsor we brothers that we not able to go school, we're not able to go far, so that we go help the government some side in it. And then we minister them. Would I not say you not ever be school prefect or not be football captain? You not able to rule people them. Do you will not go join politics because now they point the country. Because Sabi take care how they deal with mortal man. So this is not collective responsibility.
Yeah. All right.
Sierra Leone,
yeah,
Sierra Leone, that we all own. So do you mock with land in peace, not to for send bad word under or quarrel ya or pull into. They were all they not the one good picking. Do you they beg? No one go parole run again.
Yeah.
Do you? Some of who get people under, they don't all. Where they make just know, they run, they left them, who will take care of them. Some of who will get to picking them, when not Sabina to girl picking them, they become vulnerable. They run, they go for them, now wrong hands, they misuse them. Do you have beg? Una more think. Papa government we brother them more, una within a salon, una self the army man them more, una the policeman them more. Do ya more could use with conscience for more could do the right thing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And before I come do my last word, I just want to read quickly. Mariam Assisi saying, I don't know, but I'm trying to suggest that where we have a problem with our democracy, I think it is the regional or district development skills. For example, when Anes Baikoroma came in power, he developed McKinney than any other place. Likewise, Madabio came, he has developed Bo Kenema, let's say Mendeline, than any other place. Look at Karine district, Falaba district, all needs attention than any other place because they are not local presidents in parliament. So there is going to be no development. Okay. Well, now thank you, Madam Assisi. Like what doctor saying, some of we don't left that country there for over 20 years. Not necessarily with a good you, but I'm talking about residency for over 20 years. If I go to Salona for just quick time, I come back. But me heart always did in a salon. And when I say something, I testify that most of we in the diaspora, we left we country. And we get the opportunity then, yeah? Like people like we in America now, we get the opportunity. No. But always, I know they talk about American politics, and they talk about salon politics. Why? Because I was there. I saw the devastation. I saw the policies of politicians and the impact where it damaged that country there. And as somebody we don't experience them thing then they mature enough, come outside. Unfortunately, I can't see some of the things then we the other countries the way they develop, what then they do, it will be selfish upon me for make I still they continue for behave like the way I've been in a salon where I don't care. I no one care about politics where something happen. Me mama not to politician, me papa not to politician, let them try them. It end up for basic now wrong concept that one day. Now we are fortunate to have a multi-party democracy. But the problem we I get with people them, especially we in the diaspora. And the reason we always why they blame the diaspora, we don't live in a society where well advanced. We know what happen, why them people are then they advance. Pass it where you in America or Europe, you know they pay attention. You just go there, where do clean up or just go work you commode him. But if you're not person where um transactional, You know, they see within you they give now this society and what you they get now this society. You know exactly why these countries and they develop. The last thing where we they expect is for we within the diaspora for be the spoilers of we democracy. That's my own disappointment. As for the people that were in a salon, like what in doctor say, we just the continue for to now. Freetown is not Sierra Leone. Yes, I understand during the war everybody come, but that also now another impediment to development of the country. Every country will depend on import, sorry, import. You know, we develop countries. If you look at the components of development countries, mostly in countries the way they export, but then they develop faster. If you just the import no more, na a problem. So God don't give you the land, God don't give you everything. Let's just utilize that for the sake of that country and become better people. The last thing what I want for say, tribalism, they help. Okay? Let nobody not tell you. If a politician go meet you, I think I make let me see. I make one video within a social media about um tribalism. Hold on, let me just try get that quickly in my YouTube channel and see if I go able to play an am. But what are the time for talk about? Tribalism, they help. They help we at all. What in tribalism they do we? Tribalism they deprive we of we potential. Like what in Mariam the time for talk about. I'm not able to say and that's fine. What in Mariam been the time for talk about? When Mende leader come, he focus on him Mende land. When team leader come, he focus on him team land. When Soso, he focus on Soso. These are not good leadership. Good leadership, they look at the country who say a most needed and improve them. Okay? So now that one day we supposed for the do we self, let we stop for the fan tribal bigotry. They help that country. They nothing. The one they wade in the social media, they fan tribal bigotry. If you check them people, then most of them are demented people.
Mm.
They're not gonna hate. They're not demented people then. Because if you get something where they add value into the progress of the country, they focus on tribalism. So I want to thank you very much and wanna share the program every Saturday we did live. And if you're watching us on our YouTube, just subscribe and we will notify you when we did live. Okay. So we'll see you now back next week, Saturday, the same time, the same place. Thank you, Doctor, for coming.
Thank you, doctor.